Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be filming my question and answer video, get to know me thing. I had announced I'll be doing this, I think last week. I asked you guys to leave me your questions in the comments of one of my previous videos and also through Instagram. And I got a good amount of questions, so I kind of want to get through as many as possible and definitely answer as many as I can. In order to avoid this video being super long, let's begin. I think I'm first going to be going through the questions that you guys left me on YouTube, just because there was fewer questions on there than there was on Instagram. So Monica Chavira, I hope I'm saying your names right, by the way. I am probably going to be slaughtering a lot of names, especially the usernames on Instagram. So if I do, I apologize, but I think I'm going to put the usernames and questions like up here somewhere. Okay, anyway, Monica Chavira, we'll just go with that, asks, what are you studying for? I just started following you and I saw you post something about school. So yeah, I am currently in school right now. I am getting my MBA, and what I got my bachelor's in is in marketing, business marketing. And right now I'm currently continuing with marketing, but getting my MBA. So for those of you that are in school right now as well, I feel ya. Lizbeth Hernandez asks, what's your favorite foundation brush and favorite highlighter? So my favorite foundation brush and favorite highlighter. Well, at the moment, my favorite foundation brush is the Morphe B39 brush that I usually use in my videos recently. Other than that, I'll use a Beauty Blender sponge. And my favorite highlighter probably is going to be the Mary Luminizer, just because, I don't know, that highlighter, whenever I'm in doubt, I just bust that one out. Like how I rhymed that. And she also asks, how are you strong enough to do YouTube videos? That's a really good question, because actually before I had started doing YouTube, I had a beauty blog, and that is now what I use for my personal or professional website for my makeup artistry business. But before that, I had the blog, and I think just after some time doing the blog and like doing pictorials and stuff like that, I was hesitant and nervous about doing YouTube, just because I really didn't think, even before my blog, I didn't think I was that good enough, like to where people would be interested in viewing anything that I had to put out there. But just with some encouragement from like my friends and family, I actually was just, I don't know, I just took the plunge, and I think what happened was just my want for something more became stronger than my fear of doing it. So I think that's the best way I could answer it. Forever May 29 asked, have you ever been mistaken for Ariel Kebble? I'm gonna have to look that up, because, hold on. Oh yeah, she's in the Vampire Diaries. Well, actually, no, I've never been mistaken for her, but thank you, because she's really pretty. Maybe so. I don't know. They say everyone has a twin, but can't say I feel ya on that with the resemblance. Frida B asks, what is your all-time favorite movie? Film nerd up in here. I'm with you, Frida. I absolutely love movies. I'm always down to go to the movies. I literally I'll watch anything. So my all-time favorite movie, that's really hard because I have a few of them. There are a couple movies that no matter what, I can watch over and over, and I'll never get tired of them. Just the ones that come to my mind like straight away is Goodfellas. I absolutely love that movie, and it's like super long, and they show it all the time, like on AMC. Is it AMC? I think AMC. And I can watch it anytime. I don't even care. I've seen it. I can probably just recite the whole movie from memory by now. Also, The Breakfast Club and Ferris Bueller's Day Off, hands down some of my favorite 80s movies. For sure. I really, really love 80s movies, by the way, like 80s tween movies. I just think that they're like perfect. I don't know, they have like a little bit of everything in there, and just so much better than the movies they make now for teens or whatever. Ellipsa Tijerina asks, what foundation is your #1 fave? This is super hard, by the way, just because I don't know if like I can say I have one that's like always been a favorite of mine, like forever, like to this day. But currently, like, my favorite foundation that I think is just so impressive, and that like if I had to only use that one I would be totally fine, is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation. One, it's at a really good price, and two, it's just really good quality. It has really good coverage and lasts all day. It just pretty much is everything that I look for in a foundation. So for right now, that one is definitely my #1 favorite. Puha, I'm saying it right. Puha Yadav, I don't know. Hopefully, oh my god, I'm so scared. Okay, she says, you look gorgeous. Thank you, Puha. Thank you, much appreciated. And she says, from where have you learned your makeup skills? Looks like you're a pro. Thank you so much, because that's a huge compliment to me. So where I learned my makeup skills, to be honest with you, it was just a lot of trial and error. I was someone that I don't even care like what time of day it was. Any excuse I had to do my makeup, I would take that excuse and use it, because for me it was just always about practicing and practicing, and not practicing because I thought I was going to do this as a profession, but practicing just because I really liked it, and it's just honestly a stress reliever for me. Anytime I get to play with makeup, that is considered not only my work, but it's also my downtime, because that is when I feel the most at peace and at ease, and also just when I feel like myself in a way. I don't know if that sounds really weird or dramatic, but honestly that's how it is for me when I do my makeup. And if I ever have like a bad day or something's going wrong, I'll just be like, I'm gonna do my makeup, because like that just makes me feel so much better. I don't know what it is, but it helps me. And so through trial and error, and then especially through like just the growth of YouTube tutorials and stuff too, super helpful. Magazines, before like I was like using the internet and stuff like that, or when I was a lot younger, magazines gave me so much inspiration, and I would like try to copy looks from magazines as well. And just a lot of practicing. Like the best way to learn is to just get your hands dirty, like get in there and just start practicing, whether on yourself or other people. But basically it was just a bunch of trial and error and practicing. So Cassie Brower asked, do you remember how old you were when you started wearing makeup, and what was your everyday makeup routine at that point? So when I started to wear makeup, like actually like I would take the time to do my makeup like for school, and I'll be the first to say this, it was at a really young age, and I don't know how or why my parents allowed me to do this, but they did. I guess I thank them for that now, because it has paid off in some way. But I want to say I was 12 when I started to actually wear makeup, and I was in 7th grade, and I was such a little loser. I was like so into like the whole punk rock like scene thing, and it was just god awful. But that's when I actually started to actually wear makeup. Like I would wear like powder foundation, a heavy wing liner that's totally like just inappropriate for that age, definitely like lip gloss here and there, but it was just mainly foundation and my eyeliner. It sounds so bad, like so bad, but that's basically what it was, and that was like my daily routine. All pictures from that time period have been burnt. Anyway, we've all been there, but moving on, things do get better. Amanda Bell asks, what was your experience like working on a Bobbi counter, and what are some tips that you can give? She recently got a job as a Bobbi artist. So congratulations on the job, Amanda. You're gonna have a lot of fun. So my experience working with Bobbi Brown was probably one of the best experiences I've ever received. And even though I obviously don't work for them anymore, I would never regret or ever do anything differently. I think without that experience, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today, for sure, hands down. So my experience was, it is a very positive company to work for, at least from the region that I am, which is in Texas. I can honestly say that everybody in the Bobbi industry, or the Bobbi Brown company, is more or less similar. They have really upbeat personalities. You do have to take like a personality test to see if you fit in with the brand. And they're very kind, very nice. They treat their employees extremely well. Some of my favorite times working there was when we got to go to trainings, because they take care of you so well, and they really make it very comfortable for you, and really want you to get the most out of your experience with them. So I had a really great time working for Bobbi Brown. It definitely was one of the best experiences. And tips that I can give you though is, don't rely so much, and again, this is just from my experience personally, don't rely so much that they're going to teach you a whole lot about your artistry skills, because there's only so much that you can learn from that. But really make sure that you take the time as an artist to go outside and like use other resources to just like really perfect and start enhancing your skills and techniques, because that makes you a really strong artist. Don't ever limit yourself to what information or education that you can get only from your line. Really just kind of branch out like on your own, whether it be through YouTube tutorials, other makeup artists that inspire you. I mean, and trust me, it makes a difference when you have an artist that is able to, or that has I guess, education from different sources as opposed to just like a one-track mind. And definitely really use that time. I mean, I don't know if your plans are to grow with the company or to stay with companies that have counters and stuff like that, but if you ever want to do freelancing in the future, definitely use the time that you're working there to learn about customer service and what it's like to work with clients, because that's definitely one of the biggest things that helped me, was I actually got to learn what it's like to be a makeup artist that works on clients. Because nowadays you can be a makeup artist as far as like an Instagram makeup artist or like YouTube and stuff like that, which is totally cool too, but definitely customer service is such a big part of the industry. And that's the time to really utilize, like, okay, this is the best way to talk to a customer and just really get the feel for what it's like to work with so many different personalities and how to please your clients. So that's honestly the best advice I think I can give you, at least, you know, from my perspective. Monse Bernal asks, what have you always wanted? Did you ever get it? And have you ever danced in the rain? Okay, so that's a tough one. What have I always wanted? I mean, I can't say that there's one thing that like I've always wanted. There's definitely things that I want, as far as like whether they be like actual physical tangible things or whether it be like things in life that I want. Some of those things I haven't got yet because I'm still working on it. But other things that, like, I guess material things, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I've gotten them. I can tell you this, whenever I do want something, like, and I mean I really want it, I make sure that I get it, as far as like I make sure I do what I have to do in order to like get the things that I want. I remember when I was 16 and I was ready to buy a car, really, because I started working at 15, and I wanted a car. Like, I knew I wanted a car by the time I was in my senior year of high school, and I knew there was no way that my parents could afford a car for me. Like, if I wanted it, I was gonna be the one that has to get it. And so yeah, when I was 15, I got a job, and through that job I was able to actually purchase my own car on my own. And I mean, I think that was probably the biggest thing. Like, that's definitely the biggest purchase I've ever made, for sure. And I think it was one of the things that like I knew I really, really wanted, because I knew I was gonna need it. So that was one of the things that I really wanted, and I worked for it and I got it. And have I ever danced in the rain? I don't think I've ever danced in the rain, but I've definitely have been caught in the rain, and I probably look like a lunatic running through the rain. But dancing in the rain, no. I feel like I get sick pretty easily, like in that sense. I always get colds or sore throats and stuff like that if I'm not careful. So no dancing in the rain for me. But if you ever want to dance in the rain together, hit me up, girl. Hollister Barbie 87 asked, let's see, since you're self-taught, from where did you learn your makeup skills? Which I kind of answered that already, the other question. Was it YouTube or any specific makeup artist? Also, what's your ethnicity and do you speak Spanish? So I did answer those two previous questions, you know, how I learned how to do my makeup or how to do makeup, and if it was YouTube or any specific makeup artist. I can tell you this, the first people that I ever watched on YouTube were Jaclyn Hill, Nicole Guerrero, and also Samantha from Battle Ash. Those three people were like the first ones that I ever watched on YouTube, and Dulce Candy as well. And they were the ones that kind of like, when I got introduced to like YouTube beauty tutorials, those were the three people that, or those were the four people that I was like, you know, I don't know how I even came across their channel, but those are the three people that I first started to watch some years back already. It's crazy. And she asked, what's your ethnicity and do you speak Spanish? So I am Hispanic, and even though I'm Hispanic, I don't speak Spanish really well. So I do understand Spanish for the most part. My family speaks Spanish, my parents both speak Spanish, a lot of people that I know speak Spanish, and I can more or less understand what you're telling me. It's me actually communicating back to you in Spanish that's really difficult, because it's very poor and I don't know how to make complete sentences in Spanish properly. So I don't speak it. I'm gonna say no, because I can't even take credit, like even for a little bit of speaking Spanish. Okay, so Tiffany Lee asked that, she says, I think you mentioned before that you might have went to beauty school. If so, where? How much? What was your experience like? What did you receive in your kit? And if not, then who are your favorite influential makeup artists, old and young? She says that she's in school right now learning a lot of basics and things that she didn't know before. She just wants advice in being successful in the makeup industry. So Tiffany, so no, I didn't go to beauty school. I didn't go to cosmetology school or anything like that. My advice on going to cosmetology school though is that it's a little bit of a gray area. It's kind of rough for me to answer because, like I said, I'm someone that I've never personally gone to a beauty school or to cosmetology school, and they're so different just depending on the region that you live in or what school you decide to go to. My best friend, she's a hairdresser. I mentioned her before. You know, where we live, we have cosmetology schools here, and she went off to another city up north in Texas for her cosmetology schooling. And just from the experience that she's told me that she received compared to the people that I know locally that went to cosmetology school or in our area, it's different. And that doesn't mean so much like it's better or worse, but it's just a different experience. And also some brands have schools of their own and they're going to teach you their way how to do stuff. So I just think you really need to like think about what part of cosmetology you really want to go into. Especially if you're going to do hair, you have to go to cosmetology school for sure, because there's just no way you can do hair without a license. I know in the state of Texas you don't need a cosmetology license to do makeup. So if you feel like you're not getting enough experience or enough training on your own, like, and you're just not as confident, then definitely go to school. I can't tell you how much it costs or what you receive in your kits because, like I said, I never personally went through it, but definitely like they should give you all that information up front. So look into it, do your research, find out what school you want to go to and stuff like that. But for me, I guess the makeup artists that did inspire me, that I really love their work, and I love, you know, how they teach as well, because some of them are teachers. For sure, well, obviously Bobbi Brown, I actually really admire her makeup philosophy and what she does with the brand and with her products, because it is very it's not just like, oh, because this is pretty or whatever. There's like actual reasons as to why she creates certain products, which I really appreciate. She has this eye, and it's like she's a perfectionist, but in the best way as a makeup artist can be in. And also Tamana Rashan from Just Your Face, I actually really admire her too as far as her makeup artistry and her business skills. So I have watched her trainings before, the online classes that she offers, and I feel like I've gotten a lot from those as well. And let's see, any other makeup artists? Oh, Samer Kuzami, I hope I'm saying his name right. I'll put his Instagram name down below. But he's also a makeup artist that I'm just like infatuated with, because his work, it looks amazing from what I can tell in pictures. And so far, I think like for sure those are my favorite people, hands down. Sarai, I love Sarai on Instagram, her too. There's so many makeup artists out there, and I find like I can pull inspiration from so many of them, but those are just to name a few, I guess, right now off the top of my head. Yeska0404 asks, how do you match foundation when your neck is a bit darker than your face and rest of body because it looks good? So I always match, for my clients and myself, I always match their foundation color to the color they either have on their chest or on their arms, because usually if my client is someone that wears makeup regularly, their face is going to be a lot lighter. So you literally do have to swatch near this area. It's kind of odd to be swatching like on someone's décolleté, but what you should do, or what I would recommend and what I do, is actually have them turn, swatch them right here on their jawline, but drag that swatch down to their neck. But don't blend it out, leave it as stripes, because anything will probably look close to their skin color if you blend it out. You leave them as stripes and see from that high pigmentation which color matches their chest the best, and that's how you can get a good, really good match on an even color flow. And she also asks, where do you get your hair done? So I get my hair done by my best friend, who I just mentioned. She's a hairdresser. She works here in McAllen, Texas at North End Hair Company. So if you're local, definitely go check her out. I've mentioned her a few times already. And she also asks, where do you buy most of your makeup? So I buy most of my makeup, honestly, online. I'm a huge online shopper. I just love shopping online. It's just much more convenient for me. You're almost guaranteed that things are going to be in stock. So that's kind of, I mean, where I do most of my shopping for makeup. And besides online, I guess the stores that I go to a lot are definitely Macy's, Sephora, and Ulta. And then CVS is like hands down my favorite place to buy drugstore makeup at. I'm like a huge lover of CVS. Like, people think I'm so weird, but honestly CVS is one of my favorite stores. Okay, so those are all the questions on YouTube. Let's move on to the questions people asked on my Instagram. Let's see, these were actually pretty fun ones that I got on Instagram. Okay, so on Instagram, Shan6256 asked, how long have you been doing makeup and what inspired you to get into this field of work? Love your videos. Thank you, Shan. I love you for loving my videos. Okay, so I've been doing makeup freelancing wise. I've been doing it for about 8 months already, and doing makeup altogether, like being in the industry, I guess it's from when I started with Bobbi Brown, so you're looking at about a little over 2 years, just like barely over 2 years of doing makeup professionally. And before that, it would just be for fun, like with my friends and family. If someone asked me to do their makeup, I mean, I would do it just because, you know, I enjoyed doing it and I had no problem doing it. And what inspired me to get into this field of work, I guess what really inspired me was the fact that I was kind of born with makeup being around me. My mom is a director with Mary Kay Cosmetics, and she's been doing that ever since before I was born. So when I, you know, was little, it was a regular thing for me to see my mom put on makeup every day, go and sell cosmetics, you know, talk about the brand, talk about the cosmetic industry as well, as far as like the Mary Kay world. And I think just from that, that's where my infatuation for makeup itself just grew from. And as I got older, I just kind of realized that I was pretty good, I mean, in my opinion, at doing makeup, and then people would tell me as well. And I think it just kind of grew from there, that just my infatuation with doing makeup altogether just inspired me to say, you know what? I want to be a freelancer. And it's kind of funny because I never thought in a million years I would be doing freelance makeup artistry as like a job. So you just never know sometimes. Okay, Crystal1988 asks, what skin type do you have? What products do you use for your morning and night routine? Would love to know. So I am super oily. I've always had oily skin and oily hair. I've learned to appreciate it a lot more now than I did when I was younger. And as far as the products that I use morning and night, I do have a skincare routine up on my channel, so I'll link that down below as well for you guys to check out. Mia Mauri Casares, I hope I'm saying it right. Mia Mauri Casares asked. She says, how do you edit your photos and are you Latina? So yeah, I just said I am Hispanic, and how I edit my photos. I do edit photos as far as my client shots and my personal like makeup look photos differently. With my photos, just depending like on the vibe and stuff, I do like to use filters from ViscoCam. It's a really cool app. They have really cool unique filters that Instagram doesn't offer, and I don't ever like to put it on a too heavy setting though. I do kind of draw it back, but just to kind of go with the mood of the makeup look that I'm going, that's pretty much how I'll choose a filter for that. And also I use Facetune just to like enhance details that get like washed out in photography as they naturally do. And for my client photos, same thing. I don't use any filters though on my client photos. I just use the raw flash photography lighting. I just use the actual ring light that I have and the flash from my camera, which I used to film with as well. And if anything, again, if anything gets washed out or details are lost a little bit, I do use Facetune just to enhance the colors a little bit and all of that stuff. But other than that, that's pretty much how I edit my photos. I get asked that a lot actually, so hopefully that answers it. And just one thing though to keep in mind, whenever you're gonna edit any kind of makeup photos or whatever, please do not over edit photos, because I can tell you that it's really obvious when someone over edits or when they just edit where it's needed. So just please, you know, if you want to take anything away from how to edit photos, definitely just do it in a tasteful manner and do it to where it's not obvious. But other than that, that's all I use, because I for sure can't afford Photoshop, nor do I have the time to work with it. So it's basically just apps on my phone. Okay, Pep0kin or Pep0kin asked, okay, she has a lot of questions. She says, how do you get licensed or certified if that's required? as I just mentioned, I don't have a license, nor did I get certified, but you can do it through a beauty school or get certified by a makeup brand school or artist if you go to like master classes and stuff like that. And she says, how do you deal with not knowing if a client is going to break out from a foundation or primer, etc.? And how did you learn to match foundation to their skin? So I just answered how to match foundation to their skin by using their neck and décolleté area or shoulders. And how to avoid, or how do you deal with not knowing if a client's going to break out? Honestly, my clients will usually tell me beforehand that they're usually very sensitive, and if they don't tell me, I ask them. And when I find out if they're sensitive, I mean, I do make sure all my brushes are clean, all of my products are clean, and that they're up to a certain grade, I guess you could say. And I have yet to have someone tell me that they broke out from anything I used on them, but really just, you really want to ask questions about your client's skin. Always ask, are you oily? Are you dry? Are you sensitive? Are you not sensitive? Do you get irritated easily? And they'll tell you. And if you ask them, you know, what is it that irritated you? And you can kind of find the link as to what product it was that irritated them, then you can know which products to avoid. But I mean, really, you can't make your kit custom to everybody's needs, but generally you want to get it to where the products you do carry in your kit have been really good with the majority of people, if that makes sense. Let's see, Jack Babes asked how to make your makeup come out good with flash. So it's really important when using flash that you don't use anything with SPF in it. SPF is going to just wash you out like that. There's just no way to avoid a flashback of white when using SPF products. So to make your makeup look good, make sure you don't have any SPF on, and just make sure that things are blended out precisely and, you know, well. And sometimes though, just depending on the quality of flash too, like what source of lighting the flash is coming from is just going to depend too. I've noticed that on the, like, let's say for instance, the flash that gives off, that your Snapchat gives off, like the phone flash, is awful. It's actually really hard to make your pictures come out good with that, especially if you're doing like shots that are like a little bit further away from you. Up close shots seem to be okay, but I've just noticed that with the flash, the lighting just on the phone isn't that great. So for me, it's definitely make sure that the camera you have also is really good too, because usually the quality of the lighting is better already built in there. She's Our World 2414 asked, she said, I am just starting off using makeup and I have no clue what I'm doing. When you do your makeup, it looks like you have the perfect airbrush finish. What should I do to get that finish? I have oily skin. I've tried 3 different foundations. Should I continue to use liquid foundation? Any foundations you recommend? So I just did mention my favorite foundation right now. I am oily as well, so the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte is definitely one to check out. Liquid foundations, I love liquid foundations as opposed to powder foundations just because they look smoother. Make sure you're really using the appropriate brushes. I can't tell you how much people who don't use brushes, and when they get their makeup done by me, they see the brushes that I use, it makes a world of a difference as opposed to using the wrong brushes. So make sure the brushes are meant for like its purpose. You're using the right ones. Kabuki brushes are awesome for foundation, and the Beauty Blender as well. Kimber asked, how old are you and was it hard to get into the makeup business being self-taught? So I'm 22 years old, and was it hard to get into makeup? Actually, it wasn't hard. One thing to know is, like, if you're gonna work for a counter, it's really in your favor if you have retail experience prior to that. It's kind of sad to say, but most of the time they're not looking for someone that has makeup artistry skills. They're looking for someone that has retail skills, because it is still a brand and a company that expects you to sell their products, and the stronger of a seller you are, the more they're going to want you, as opposed to someone who doesn't know how to sell anything but yet they're really good at makeup. You're probably not going to get that job. I'm just going to say it like bluntly. So since I had a lot of retail experience before working at Bobbi Brown, because that was my first cosmetic job, it wasn't hard for me, and they didn't ask to like see what I could do, but just they judged by how I wore my makeup. And then when I got there, you know, they got to see, okay, she can do makeup as well, so it's a huge plus. But some lines do require you to do like a test run of a makeup look on someone, so just make sure that you're really confident in what you do and your skills and how you do your makeup, and usually that shows. So they just want to see confidence, because confidence also equals a strong seller. So Sternat asks, how long have you been doing makeup? Like I mentioned earlier, professionally a little over 2 years. Megan Lane asks, do you have a favorite overall makeup brand? No. That's a really hard question. I don't have an overall favorite makeup brand. I have favorites, but just to pick one, it's honestly super hard for me, and I can't, like, I just, I can't pick one because I feel like every brand has like their strong products, so I can't pick just one. And she asked, what do you consider a necessity in your overall makeup routine? Stuff you would not travel without. Stuff that I wouldn't travel without, for sure, my brushes, and also my foundation, my concealer, and powder for sure because I'm oily. Honestly, those things would just be like I need it, just because I feel like if you have like really good looking skin, everything else is like okay. So for me, those would probably be my things that I could like not live without. Everything else I think I could get by without, but that's what I'm gonna say for sure. So Miss Reese01 asked, do you want kids? Yeah, I do want kids. I'm a really big family person. Like, I'm someone who's really big on family, and I definitely do want kids. I don't want them anytime soon, I can say that. Definitely have a good amount of time before I can even think about that, but I do want them. Daphne Silva asked, how did you know when you wanted to become a makeup artist? So when I knew I wanted to become a makeup artist, I want to say it was 6 months into working with Bobbi Brown. That's when I kind of realized and got the confidence that I wanted to do this professionally. And at that time though, I thought I would just grow with the brand. I didn't think I would ever part ways and become a freelance makeup artist, but when I was working with Bobbi, that's when I knew I wanted to become a makeup artist for sure. Leslie Beauty asked, what's your favorite food, meal, or snack? That's so hard. I'm such a huge foodie. I don't even know. I think for sure, because I've like, people have told me before, like they've noticed this from me. Pizza, I'm like always down for pizza, and hamburgers as well. So pizza and hamburgers, just like really bad. And for snacks, I'm someone that I love to snack on something that's more salty as opposed to something sweet. So I love chips. I love Takis chips. If you guys know what those are, you know what's up. And like Mexican candies. I'm just like any pickles, like anything salty, I absolutely like, yes, just give it to me. Jen XOX28 asks, what is your holy grail primer and foundation for oily skin? I can't say that I found a holy grail one. I mentioned before that the Maron Velvet Primer Serum is definitely my favorite primer because it works with any skin type, and I feel like it really does hold your makeup on really, really well. And foundation, again, the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte at the moment. Sakura_JPG asked, what made you take the plunge to finally start your YouTube channel? She says that she really wants to start something in the beauty industry, but is always afraid and gets discouraged and talks herself out of it. So what I can tell you first off is stop talking yourself out of it. If this is something that you really, really want, just do it. I know there's a lot of people out there that I see too say that they really want to start a YouTube channel or something beauty related, whether it be a blog or just even to be on Instagram. And there's so many excuses that you can give yourself as to not do it right now, but honestly, all those excuses don't matter. What matters is just starting it, whether you have equipment or not. But I can tell you this, if you have a camera, if you have like a place where you can get somewhat decent lighting, it doesn't have to be professional lighting, just start doing it. For me, what made me just want to take the plunge is that I just felt people were more interested in visual tutorials as opposed to pictorials or just me writing out tutorials in my blog that I had. So for me, it was like, I feel like I could get a better grasp in reaching more people that I really wanted to like reach and do what I really want to do with YouTube. And don't get me wrong, I was really scared and nervous, and like I said before, I didn't really think anybody would care to watch anything that I put out there. But just encouragement, and really encouragement from like the oddest of places too, because people who weren't even really close to me were the ones that actually encouraged me to do something like this. And when I finally got to talk about this to the people that were close to me, and I found out that they were on board as well and said, you know, you should do it, that's when I just, you know, told myself, why am I looking for so much reassurance in other people? Like, if I'm confident in what I do and this is something that I want, then I have no other reason or excuse to not do it. So if you want something, no matter if it's YouTube, just anything in life, just do it and stop discouraging yourself, because then you're the only setback. Makeup Addict _J21 asks, what lighting and camera do I use? So I film and take my pictures on a Canon Rebel T3i. Lighting, I have a ring light. When I take photos, my ring light and the flash on the camera. When I'm filming, ring light and softbox, 2 softbox lights. Michaela.Jade asks, would you rather know when or how you're going to die? Morbid, she says. I know, but sorry. That's actually a really good question. When I saw this one, I was like, oh, Michaela, you just done and did it. So I thought about this, and honestly, I would rather know how I'm going to die rather than when, because I think if I were to know when, I would just be like anticipating that day and it would just be awful. So definitely I would rather know how. That's just my answer. Monita520 asks, do you have a boyfriend or a significant other? What are you majoring? What are your future goals / plans career-wise? So I do have a boyfriend. I don't ever really mention him a lot on here just because I have always been someone that keeps that aspect of my life pretty private. I am kind of reserved in that way. Sometimes you'll catch him on my Snapchat, like sometimes, rarely. And also, what am I majoring in? Marketing. I'm a marketing major. What are your future goals / plans career-wise? I always told myself, definitely, I really want to stick with being a freelance makeup artist and just continuing to grow my business and my name as a makeup artist. So those are my future plans, and I think definitely in the future I do want to have a studio in my hometown, because it's a town that hasn't always been very big or very metro, but it's definitely grown a lot over the past, 20-15 years, and I can see a really good potential of growth, especially within this industry here. So honestly, that's what I would like to do. O_show. How did you get started on makeup and then onto YouTube? Advice for newbies. So just with makeup, I just got started because I was infatuated with it. It's been around me all my life. I just started to play around with it. And then into YouTube, it was from a blog that moved on to YouTube, and I just decided to take the plunge and start my channel. Just said, to hell if it doesn't work out, I'm gonna do it anyway. And advice for newbies, just do it, be confident, be yourself. And don't ever stop practicing or stop wanting to be better. Like, really just always find the room to learn and to grow. Blushed by Sophie, best social media marketing tips. The best social media marketing tip I can give you guys, and that I received and actually listened to and followed, was don't feel like you could ever post too much, because if you're always posting original content, I can assure you that's like the best way to grow your Instagram, your YouTube, and be consistent. Consistency is key, especially to something like YouTube. You can't like film and upload only a couple times a month, or leave like for months on end and then come back, or not have a regular schedule. So for me, having a schedule of regular uploads Mondays and Fridays was like the best thing I ever did, because it made me be consistent. And same thing with Instagram and other social media too. Don't stop posting. Don't post one day, then like 4 days later post again. It's always best to post throughout the day. That way people around the world can like have a chance to come across your stuff. You know what I mean? So definitely be consistent and, constantly just put your stuff out there. Shelbylicious. Hi, Shelby. She's a friend of mine. She says, do you have trouble taking off your contacts with your long nails? Hers are growing and she finds it so difficult. I surprisingly no, and people ask me all the time, how the hell do I work with my nails like this? And to be honest with you, it's not hard, because I think I'm just used to it by now. And actually how I take off my contacts is I use the side of my nail to kind of like lift it from my eyeball. It sounds awful, I know. Sorry if this is making you cringe, but that's how I do it. So it's really just a matter of getting used to them. Jasmine_Osman1. How did you get into makeup, and like who or what inspired you to start makeup? Kind of already answered that. The artists that I really follow and look up to, and how I got into makeup. Samantha and Solis, you can quit your shit right now. That's my best friend. That's the one who does my hair as well. I'm gonna skip over your question. Selena Rivera asks, who was your favorite Dillard's coworker? Selena, it was you, boo. 11VS asked, what's your favorite eyeshadow palette? That's a hard one, for real. I don't know, because I feel like I own so many, and I use them pretty much consistently, like in rotation. God, the favorite, I guess currently right now, my favorite one would be the Morphe 35O palette for sure. I find myself reaching for it constantly. And also the Anastasia Shadow Couture palette, World Traveler one. Out of all the palettes that I've owned from her, that one has been my favorite so far. Alejandra_27 asks, what made you want to get an MBA? What do you plan to do after you get your degree? She's aiming to get an MBA as well and wants some but she also wants to do makeup. Any advice? So what made me want to get an MBA? That's kind of tricky. Obviously, I'm self-employed and I'm a freelance makeup artist, so a lot of people say, why are you wasting your time getting an MBA? I know. So even before I picked the major that I was gonna study in, I knew before that, like way before that, that I was gonna get an MBA. I always wanted a master's, mainly because out of my parents, my dad's the only one that went to college. My mom didn't, and it just wasn't for her, which, by the way, I'm a huge believer in that college is not for everybody, but if you have the opportunity to go to school, definitely take it. But my dad went to college and he has his bachelor's, and ever since a young age, he had always stressed how important school is and how it's important because you just never know what can happen in life. And for him, he always wanted to get his MBA, but at that time, it's very different than it is now with the kind of help that you're able to get back then as you are now. And I guess I kind of just saw that he never got the opportunity to get his MBA, and I knew that I didn't want to have that kind of regret later on in life either. And even though I'm doing what I do now, I didn't know that I was going to be doing this, and I thought I was going to work in the corporate world somewhere or do something where an MBA could be required. So for me, I'm also a person that I have like plan A, B, C, D, you know, I always have a backup plan. So for me, it's like, okay, if, you know, freelancing doesn't work out, I have my degrees to fall back on just in case, because you just never know what can happen from one day to the next, especially with your job and with your career. So that's kind of what made me want to get one. It's just a personal fulfillment that I know I needed to accomplish. And so what I plan to do with it is basically use it for myself. I'm a marketing major. Marketing, you can definitely use it for yourself. And that's what I plan to do with it, is just really grow my business with my degrees as well. You know, at least have the papers to back up that I know what I know. And any advice, really? I mean, do whatever makes you the happiest. For me, makeup makes me the happiest. Doing what I do is just a really big joy in my life. So I went that route instead of, okay, I'm gonna go work at an office or go work, you know, for a company, do a 9-to-5 thing. I was somebody that, and I am somebody that I get bored actually pretty easily. And I knew at a young age that whatever career I end up going with in life, it was gonna have to be something that I knew I could do something different every day. I can't do a same routine every day. I know I would get really unhappy. So I had to just kind of find the career that would suit that, and apparently I found one. Takara asked, how old are you? Again, I'm 22. Is that, I want to know, is that shocking to any of you out there? Because I've, whenever I tell my age to people, like any age I was ever at, people would always get so shocked. They always thought I was a lot older, but I am 22. But I want to know, how old did you guys think I was? Let me know down below in the comments, I'm curious. And it's Ellipsa, favorite foundation, and where do you work? So favorite foundation, again, L'Oreal Dalba Pro Matte at the moment. And where do I work? I currently work out of my home, so I take clients here at my house, and I am also available for travel, so I'll either go to venues or go to my clients' homes and do their makeup there. So I also film at my home as well. So that's all the questions that I got on YouTube and on Instagram. Thank you guys so much for submitting them, and I hope I was able to let you guys know a little bit more about me and just kind of get to know me and my personality a little bit better. And definitely, I appreciate each and every one of you for sticking around and helping me get to the point where I'm at, and I can't wait to see what else this career and this whole YouTube journey has for me. And definitely we'll be doing another one of these in the future because I think they're really fun, and I just think it's another way for us to get to know one another, and you guys can get to know me aside from the beauty tutorials as well, just kind of know another side of me. So yeah, I will see you guys either Friday or maybe earlier, because I'm kind of trying to figure out where I can sneak in a tutorial here. So if there's anything in particular that you want to see, let me know down below. And again, I hope you guys loved this. I love you guys. So yeah, see you in my next video. Bye guys.